I was diagnosed in December 2006 and I'd been working as an associate lecturer with the Open University for a while, teaching biological psychology.
In terms of the sort of things I used to do, was play rugby. Would think nothing of going and run 12, 13 miles in North Yorkshire.
I was living a fairly similar life to most other sort of late 20-year-olds, kind of ready for the next stage of things, turning 30 and, you know, the big 3-0, what would it bring?
Somewhere in the region of 1 in 20 people with Parkinson's get their Parkinson's before the age of 40. And in actual fact, that percentage is probably rising.
My writing had gone from clear, legible to absolutely tiny, which is a classic Parkinson's syndrome called micrographia. 5 minutes later, I couldn't write at all. Probably not the best day I've ever had at work.
David, prior to the Parkinson's diagnosis, was very much climbing the corporate ladder. He was aiming for board level, that was his dream. And then obviously when he had the diagnosis, that dream came crashing down.
My children were 13, 11 and 9, as I recall.
I was aware something was sort of a bit askew in the whole sort of family life at the time.
It kind of came as almost as a relief to them to know that it was something which had a name.
My work colleagues referred to my hand as the claw because it would just sort of, you know, do things of its own will, and I basically just thought something was up but didn't think it was anything serious.
At the time, Parkinson's to me, it was one of those things that you probably did associate with the older generation.
Starting a relationship when you have any sort of big life drama happening is difficult because you're taking someone else through that with you. Their future is going to be directly affected by your future, and I don't know what my future holds.
So the first thing you obviously think about is how am I going to earn a living? You know, my daughter's at private school and we live a very good life.
I think with David's depression, it was probably more the worry of knowing what he was facing. Obviously at that point he hadn't shared it with me.
I don't know what it is that makes you feel ashamed, but just actually saying you've got it and being out there is really quite challenging. Certainly no rush to make it public.
It's a lot to take on for someone. I think everyone has their baggage. This is just an extraordinarily large piece of baggage.
Charlie's 15 now, about 2 years ago. I kind of sat her down in the lounge and said I need to have a chat, at which point she burst into tears.
I asked him whether or not I was going to get it, and then if he was going to die or not.
My symptoms, how long have you got?
He'd be standing there and he'll want to walk, but his feet are like glued to the floor and he can't actually physically make that move. He's literally immobile.
It's the unpredictability of it that's one of the most difficult things to deal with. When you need to be at your best, you're at your worst, almost invariably.
You're not on trospium anymore, are you, Dad?
No, I've given up on that one.
You get your tremor most when you're stressed and you're trying to do something fiddly and your hand's going crazy, and it drives me mad.
There are plenty of non-motor symptoms. One of the biggest ones that a lot of people don't talk about really are hallucinations and night terrors.
Dystonia, which is incredibly painful, and just almost like your foot is going into a fist.
I mean, it's hard to be around somebody with Parkinson's to watch someone you love in that situation.
When I'm rolling on the floor, absolutely in bits, you know, Nicky can do nothing.
I just get worried about him. So it's like when he's walking down the street, I just wonder what people are thinking, and I just kind of want to make them go away.
I think he tried to buy some form of like painkiller or something, but the cashier sort of said he wouldn't be allowed them. I was actually fairly outraged. I mean, I think he was wearing a waistcoat, for God's sakes.
Parkinson's tests you in a million different ways. It's like a pickpocket, gradually taking away, bit by bit, all the things that you hold dear. And the medications take away others as well. So it's a high price to pay for being able to walk.
I'm now on 24 milligrams. It works for me. But I know people that at 8 milligrams feel like they're going to go and rob a bank, and it does absolutely destroy lives.
We are still using, in large part, drugs which are up to 50 years old. And we still, although we have new drugs, we don't have anything better.
You've got such a limited choice. The first time I took it, I couldn't feel my legs.
Fighting Parkinson's is certainly a war, but keeping a family together as well is just as challenging.
It's not just your future it steals that of all your family, because everything changes.
Once I'd finished A-levels, they actually wanted me out of the house quite a lot. At the same time, there was the part of me that went, well, if I'm gone, there's no one at home if something were to happen.
You look to your father as a role model, and to see your father diminishing in his powers at a time when you're really looking for that kind of authority and strength in the relationship, I think is distressing.
I've always considered myself a full-time son, but part-time carer.
Yes, I think he thinks he's the alpha male. He's definitely a beta still.
It is like this annoying third party in our relationship that thinks it's really funny and tries to kind of bother us and tries to make us argue.
I'm aware that it will get harder. I don't really know what will happen, but sort of try and take the positives.
I have to say I've met some astonishing people through Parkinson's. I imagine it as being a bit like being in the army. There's almost a bond amongst your fellow fighters, and it's very, very strong.
They focus on what they still have, as opposed to the amount that has slowly been drained from them.
The Parkinson's community are very supportive, and I feel very lucky.
There's hope, and there's hope. That would never have happened without Cure Parkinson's Trust.
We're not interested in treating the symptoms. We want to kill this thing off once and for all.